So gasification or incineration is not the answer where you have a lot of wet food waste. One of the mistakes I think the Germans have made, and they realize they've made, is that they have put the food waste in with the mixed waste and burnt it. But as they have become more and more pro-recycling and taken more and more of the dry waste out of the mixed waste, suddenly their waste is very wet. Okay? And so now they're going towards source-segregated collection of the organic wet waste. And they're going to anaerobic digest it, and they're going to compost it. So they've gone that sort of whole circle. Then you have the dry waste. And now, for sure, you can recycle a huge amount of that dry waste. If the economic conditions are right, if you regard that as a priority in your economy, if you have the space, the labor force to do it. But you can also burn it, and you can burn it, actually, in many ways. You can shred it so it's a cement plants where you don't have incinerators, as RDF. And that's one model which is being used. You can export it. For example, the British export 500,000 tons of dry waste to the Scandinavian incineration plants because they don't have enough incinerators. You can use that energy to district heat. You can use that energy to make electricity from. You can use energy from organics actually to make methane, which you put into the natural gas stream, or you can make fuel from it. The Japanese model of gasification plants is one which clearly works very, very well in Japan. But please correct me, I'm not sure if that model has actually been transferred anywhere else yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the Japanese built in Rome a 300,000 tons a year capacity gasification plant, which worked for 2 years and is now closed. Not because it didn't work, because it was so goddamn expensive. It cost so much to build and so much to run that the operators were losing money on it compared to traditional incineration. And they abandoned it. It was just too expensive to keep going. So it works in Japan. There's clean, homogeneous waste streams going into those plants that work in that particular environment. I don't know, and maybe I'm ignorant, that there are other countries that isn't working.
Yeah, we heard a lot about the cost of installations and operations on the gasification plant. And actually, I did ask this question to the Japanese company. Their reply is about 10% higher than the conventional waste-to-energy plant and 10% higher in the operational cost. But again, we take it with pinch of salt. But again, if you calculate the externality, without doing it, we have more incineration bottom ashes. How are we going to treat it? How we do with the incineration bottom ashes? If we're going to create another landfill, what will be the cost? All this will come in and become very complex. And yes, you're right to say that maybe we have not heard about the Japanese plant in other countries. In Japan, they are quite affected. JFE at least have 10 plants in Japan running the gasification, so this is what we know. Now, back to Melissa, and we talk about technology. Just now you mentioned about automation also in your industry. Now, with the intermittent kind of situation we face, where we still have the labor issues, we still have the land issue, do you think maybe then we should look forward to the equipment, the technology? Then, as the chairman of the OneRus, what do you think you can do in driving the changes in this industry to transform them from a labor-intensive industry maybe to something else?
We have companies here, maybe the companies can share what kind of innovation or innovative projects they are up to. I think it will still take quite a while for the companies to slowly accept and adopt using technologies. For example, in the past, for hook lift truck, the drivers will climb up onto the truck and use a canvas to cover it. Then that was in the past. But now, slowly, after we encourage, NDA encourage, OneRus encourage, slowly the companies now have automatic cover, which is not too bad. Then followed by, now they have their own sorting facility. So slowly they are coming to accepting it and adopt more. So what we could do, for Walmart we could do is continue to take the companies out of Singapore and go for mission trips to observe how the other countries are doing, what kind of technology do they use, then we can actually learn, adopt and bring it back to Singapore. So that's what we are doing. And maybe for some of the audience here, you may not know that Walmart, together with ISWA and SEI, we actually have an agreement signed to have this TAP center, which is called Training Advisory Promotion Center. So that is where we will usually do it at SEI's premises, where we will run courses, workshops on different topics. So the latest topic that we will be doing for next month is waste to energy. So gasification is expensive, so maybe the option is to do waste to energy plant in Singapore. So if you are interested, please register with our secretariat here for the next month's course. So besides our usual training courses, exhibitions, which we use to have WasteMat Asia, which we have decided to discontinue it and join force with NEA into their integrated Waste Expo in 2016. So we will be working with our EO, we'll be approaching the companies very soon to sign up to participate in this coming exhibition. And we also have conferences, so where we invite the expert speakers like David and some other overseas colleagues to come over to Singapore to share with us the best practices, share with us the knowledge and skills that we can learn from them. And what our association is doing now is something that's very new, is we are trying to establish a regional alliance, which tentatively it will be called an Asia Pacific Environmental and Waste Industry Alliance. So what does this alliance do? Is to share and facilitate the transfer of knowledge and expertise in waste management, to promote the adoption of best practices, raise awareness and standards, as well as to serve as a platform for members to meet and to work and to explore cross-border business opportunities. So among this regional alliance, the countries we have is Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, China, Hong Kong and India for this year. So this is where we will try to get all these alliance countries to all flood over to Singapore, to our TAP center, run through whatever courses that we are going to roll out next year, and the year after that's where we start to train, so that everybody, whether it's Singapore or regional, will have an equal playing field, and we all share the same best knowledge. So that's what we are planning to do. And the next thing that we will be doing is training. The government say must train, right? So government train a lot. Walmart also must train. So Walmart will set up our own training academy, where we will train the local, the foreign, and we will work with the educational institution to offer local courses, certificates for executive and managers. So we will keep everybody posted once that has been formed. And the next thing, which is also very important, is we are in the process of setting up a tripartite committee to seriously look at the upgrading of waste management in Singapore and recycling sector. So we have NEA on board, we have NTUC, E2I, WOMRAS, industry players, MOM, and union. So we'll be working with this committee to see how we can, craft up something for the local players, the local employees here. Yeah, that's what we are up to.